Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Devin, thank you so much for that introduction. And we're just going to get started. I am excited. This is a brand new year, 2025, January. And it's the end of January, but I know many people have pledged to uh, do right by their bodies. Let's just say that. And so, in doing so, we just talk about eating, we talk about exercising, we're talking about just counting calories, just doing all the right things. But first, we have to figure out how we're going to do this meal planning thing. Because if we're going to eat, we got to plan our meals. And I am an advocate for planning your meals. So let me get started because we have this 1 hour, and my goal is to give you most a couple of options using one meal, one main course to actually spread throughout the week for a variety of things so that you won't get bored. Because a lot of times people get bored and they say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to the restaurant. I'm just going to the drive through. I'm just going, forget this. So this will actually give you a couple of options for that you can use for this one meal. And let me just say this: you will receive the recipes for what I'm cooking at some point this week, maybe tomorrow. All right. So here we go. The recipe that I'm going to use is one of my favorites. It's in my recipe book, and it is a chili. It's a chili option. And so, how about it's chilly outside. It's a little warmer. I think we have a little heat wave, but it's chilly, so it's time for chili. That's a play on words, right? Chili. So I'm going to make this chili, and I'm going to first start off with some olive oil in my pan. Now I know for a fact that folks use chili. They use ground turkey, ground beef. Some use ground chicken, but I am a vegetarian. I don't eat chicken, turkey, beef, none of that. So I am using, and this is an option for my fellow vegetarians or vegans. All right, I am using corn. This is the brand, this particular brand. I'm using this one as my meat base, my plant based meat. So it's not a soy. It's actually like a mushroom, like a plant-based mushroom. All right. So I'm using that. I put my oil in my pan, and it looks like ground. It looks like ground beef, but it's not. All right. So I need to put a little bit more oil in there. Well, let me just go ahead and add. Next is going to be my tomatoes. I'm using diced tomatoes. You can use diced tomatoes from the can, or garlic, basil, Italian, whatever kind you can find. You can use that. I'm using one whole can of diced tomatoes that I put in there. All right. This is going to be really, really quick. Now, you can use a crock pot or you can actually use a pan like I'm doing here. If you use a crock pot, you can put it in overnight, put it on low. Yes, corn. There you go. If you can put it on low in a crock pot or medium, and just but you got to watch it. Um, Make sure you don't leave it on high all night long. All right. So now I have my olive oil, my tomatoes, and my plant-based um, plant-based meat, and that's the corn. And I like it. Somebody put the corn in there. I love it. I like this one. All right. So now let's go ahead and put the star of the show in here. That's some beans. Now I'm using dark red kidney beans from the can for this recipe. Now, if you want to go ahead and jump all in and using your fresh beans from a bag, dried beans, you can do that in a crock pot. You have to cook it a couple of days, some overnight, out some hours. But this is from the can, and I usually use organic beans from the can. And I use three different kinds for my chili. I use the dark red kidney beans. I use the garbanzo beans, which another name for garbanzo beans is chickpeas, and I use black beans. Now you can use pinto beans, you can use black eyed peas, any type of beans, because what beans is going to give you your protein. It's your protein. But what I do is I rinse the beans from the can. I put them in a strainer and I rinse them really, really well because they've been sitting in the can and they have some preservatives in there. And I normally use low sodium. I suggest you use low sodium if you have issues with hypertension. Because listen, it's no need to meal prep if you are and using I want to say like a Bush's beans that's already made. Like it's got everything in the can, all your seasonings and all that. You all know what I'm talking about. I'm just using the plain beans and then I'm adding. So that way you know exactly what is in your food. So I'm adding my salt. So I use low sodium beans. You use low sodium beans a if you have issues with hypertension. Um, so low sodium beans, all right? You rinse them, put them in here. So I have the olive oil, the three different types of beans, tomatoes, and the plant-based meat so far. All right. So I'm going to mix it all together. Now I'm going to add a couple of things that you might not add to your chili. Just a couple of things, couple of ingredients. I'll put that top on for a second while it's cooking. So one of the ingredients are mushrooms. And so one of my things is, listen, you eat to live. Eat to live. And if you don't eat mushrooms, just cut them up small and put them in there anyway, because they are very, very good for you. And so these are shiitake mushrooms. You can do portobello, white button, crimini, whatever kind of mushrooms you can get your hands on. All of them have medicinal benefits. But like I said, if you don't like them, just cut them up and put them in there. Eat them all together. Don't even worry about it. Is there a question, Devin? Any questions so far? While I'm
We
dicing
had
my
a
mushroom.
question about, yeah, I'm so sorry. We had a question about the brand that you were using, the corn brand. If you could, when
Uh-huh.
you have a chance, can you show that
Which
packaging
bag
again?
again? Sure.
Thank you.
It's corn, and somebody put the correct spelling in there. They knew it. So this is it here. I'm not sure if the lighting is going to catch it.
Yeah, I think it was
You
just
see
the
that?
lighting of it, but we can write the correct spelling in the chat again.
Let me see. There we go. That's what it looks
Perfect.
like.
Thank you.
But I know it's backwards. Sorry about that. All right. So we have, I have the mushrooms cut up. I'll put the mushrooms in here. Mushrooms are very, very good for you as far as a lot of mushrooms are good for rejuvenating cancer cells. So you can use a lot of different mushrooms for cancer, but um, very well in everything. But shiitake mushrooms are one of the greatest benefits. Have the greatest health benefits. Shiitake. Oh, listen, that mushroom would be a whole different topic because there are so many different species of mushrooms that are out there, and they all have different medicinal health benefits. So I can't go into that right now. But so I'm adding mushrooms. The next ingredient that I want to add are carrots. Using a nice sized carrot. And what I normally do is I'll take a potato peeler. I'll take a potato peeler and I just shred it. Shred it in the pot. Shred it because it's nothing worse than cutting up carrots. You know, they're hard. You cut them up, they fall off and roll all off the every inch onto the floor. So I just shred it. Shred the carrot. Just make sure that you don't shred it down so much where you actually get to your fingernail. You don't want to get a fingernail in your dish, right? So you just shred the carrot, and when it gets down real low, you just eat it. You just eat it. Yes. I'm seeing the comments come pop up, but I'm trying to I can't keep up. So that's why I have
Chef Ross,
Devin
can
go
I?
ahead and
Yeah, I was gonna
sure.
pop in and just, somebody asked if you could remind us of the 3 beans that were used?
Sure. The three beans are the dark red kidney beans, the chickpeas, garbanzo beans, and black beans. That's what I'm using here. But you can use whatever you have. Whatever you have. You have pinto. I've used pinto beans. I've used black eyed peas before, red beans, all different types of beans. All right. That's my carrots in there. That's my carrots. Carrots, beta carotene. It's definitely not a myth when it says carrots are good for your eyes. So it's very good for you. Um, Carrots are in there. All right. The next thing I'm going to use are onion. You all know we got to put onion in the chili. You have to put onion. This is a sweet onion. You can use any onion that you wish that you like. I love onion. I dice onion. Put it in there. This is a sweet onion. Yes. And it smells good already, and I don't even have the seasonings in there yet. Very, very good. So this is our base meal. This is what we're going to use for everything. And I'm going to tell you, I'll share that with you in a few minutes once I get this done. All right. The next ingredient are my seasonings. All right. So I'm going to use some oregano. Very good seasoning. You might think oregano is just for spaghetti. No, it's not. It's not. You see this? I'm using my tool I got from Park and Planning. I love it. And then I'm using cumin. Now, cumin, some people say cumin. It's great for digesting your beans. So your beans are, a lot of times people have gas. A lot of gas when you're using, when you eat beans. Some people have a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, but cumin will help with that. Also, with your beans, um, you could use some baking soda, and I'm talking about fresh beans when you're cooking it. Some baking soda. You can use seaweed, put it in your beans, bay leaf while cooking your beans. The mistake that people normally do is when you're
Roz, it looks like you might have gotten
oh,
Your
muted if
sound
you
went
are
off.
able to unmute yourself. I missed
somebody
just a
muted me.
few words that you said, but go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying that a lot of times people mistakenly put salt in their water while they're cooking their beans. It will make the beans take a longer while to cook because I'm talking about fresh beans, not beans in the can, but fresh beans. When you're cooking them in a pot, on the stove, or in your crock pot, add the salt to the beans at least 15, 20 minutes at the end of the cooking process because you need your beans to be nice and soft where you can squeeze them, and that means that you'll be able to digest it better. Your digestive system will be able to break it down like it should, and then it won't cause all that bloating and that gas. And I found actually that the more I ate beans, the less than the gas was. Period. Didn't have the gas at all, actually. So, but sometimes your body has to get used to it. Okay. All right. So that smells so good. Now we're going to use some garlic. Use some garlic powder, no garlic salt. We're not using garlic salt. Not good, especially if you're dealing with hypertension. We're using garlic powder, and you can put fresh garlic in here if you like. But I use garlic powder. Garlic is great for what? What is garlic great for? Somebody type in the chat. Um, medicinal benefits of garlic. Coughs? Oh yeah. Oh, so somebody might have a cold right now. So definitely inflammation. What else? And the heart. Absolutely. Unknown user. That's what I see on there. The heart is cardiovascular system. It's for your heart. Heart, blood pressure, all of that together. Yes. Great, great. Garlic. So you cannot use too much garlic. Definitely, garlic can be used like an antibiotic for coughs and colds. Garlic, ginger, onion, all of them are in the same family. And then somebody said vampire prevention. Somebody always says that. I love it. That's right. But I don't really care. Listen, people say, "Oh, you smell like garlic." I'm like, "Okay, good. That means nothing is going to come around me. Nothing is going to penetrate." I love it. All right, I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt, and you get to control how much sea salt you're using. Now, I usually take it just like this and use some pinches, about two, and then that's it. Pink Himalayan sea salt. Start off with a little bit. Don't start off with a lot because you can't take it away. You can add it, but you can't take it away. All right. So you just want to, sometimes you can just do without, just use the garlic and your oregano, your different season. Now, here we go. Your chili powder. You have some chili powder so it can taste like chili. All right. Chili powder is the secret. And then you're going to use, I normally add my spice of life to to my chili, but I don't think the spice of life is on you all's recipe. The spice of life is actually my own seasoning. It has turmeric, garlic, berberine, so it has a little kick to it. If you like a little fire, a little hotness, and with your chili especially, then you're going to use some cayenne pepper. That's in my spice of life, berberine. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, smells so good. Smells so good. Smells so good. And then that's everything that's in the chili. I'm going to just turn it down a little bit while I go to this. So before I go to the next thing, let's check my time. 6:22. I'm doing good. And so, are there any questions? Any questions, Devin?
No, no questions right now. People were just commenting on the different ways that, or the answer, the question for you, the question that you gave for blood pressure, colds, antibiotic, heart health, things like that.
Yes, for the garlic. That's
Yes.
amazing. That's awesome. All right. I want to, we're talking about meal prepping. So right now with this chili, you can use the chili for lunch, lunch and dinner. You can step outside the box and even eat some in the morning for breakfast, but most people don't. Most people don't. So let's talk about meal prepping for breakfast. One of the things I'm not demonstrating right now, but one of the things I want to talk about is um, your egg muffins. Your egg muffins. You can actually buy the muffin pan. Normally come in a 6. You can buy, I believe, a 12 one. Um, and you whip up your eggs like you would scramble eggs. You can drop in each hole, and then you can add your onion, peppers, spinach, some cheese if you like. Just drop them all in, whatever. You can mix them up, have a variety because we don't want to get bored with this meal prepping thing, right? So drop them in, drop them in. First, you might want to spray the pan and then drop in your eggs and put it all in. Now, what I do is when I'm beating the eggs, I add a little bit of baking baking soda so that it can rise, because you're going, after you drop all of your vegetables in there, you can save some broccoli, carrots, whatever vegetables you have. Drop them in the muffin pans with the egg and run them in the oven. And when you run them in the oven, they will bake up like a souffle. Then you take them out, let them sit for a minute, then you turn them over, and then you can package them and put them in the freezer and just grab them, warm them up. If you're running out the door on the way to work, or you're just doing it at so it'll be about a little bit, like half a teaspoon or less than a half a teaspoon of bacon. It depends on how many eggs you're doing. It depends on how many, and right now eggs are so expensive. I don't know. I don't know how many you're doing, but you add at least a half a teaspoon of baking soda or baking powder, either one. So make them up, put them in the refrigerator, or you can put them in the freezer, and then they'll be made, and that'll be your breakfast. You can have that with some fruit, a smoothie, or whatever, or oatmeal, overnight oats. You can put those in containers, and I'm going to talk about the containers for 2 minutes. So I love getting these containers here. These I got from Costco, and they are called Snapware. Airtight, leak-proof, perfect for meal prepping. So in this one, I have some fruit. So you can go ahead and buy a set of these. They come a little smaller than this one, and especially if you're concentrating on your portion control. But you want to, unless you are dealing with diabetes, then you can actually eat as much fruit as you want. But you can put your fruit in here, your berries, your grapes, whatever. Go ahead and fill up 4 or 5 of them and put them in the refrigerator. Seal it tight. They're going to last for in this container. This fruit can last for at least 2 weeks in this container here. I've had it done. All right. So I love it. Sure.
I'm sorry, we have a couple questions.
All right.
Someone was asking, can the egg muffins be cooked with liquid egg whites?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Egg whites. Whatever your
Okay.
preference is.
We got another question. Somebody was just
Sure.
asking about half teaspoon per egg.
Oh, no. So I use I normally, for a 6-pan muffins, I'll put, it's about 4 eggs. Yeah, 4 eggs, because remember, you're not going to fill the muffin cup to the top. You're going to put it halfway. And then you fill the rest with your vegetables and your cheese or whatever. Okay, so this is tricky. I did a demo on this, on the muffins, on the breakfast bites. So the thing is, it also depends on the size of your muffins also. So I would say use less than a half a teaspoon for 4 eggs. That's kind of hard for me to explain without showing you, but I hope you get it. Just use a little bit. Start off with a little bit. Then when you do it and it doesn't rise as much, then next time you do it, just put a little bit more in there, depending on your size. Okay, awesome, Sheila. All right, so just talking about these containers real quick. They come in different sizes, so you just put whatever your foods so if you're making your chili, you can put it in a larger size, seal it, put it in the refrigerator, and then you have all of your food that we're going to talk about now. All right, so my chili is ready. The chili is ready. I'm going to move it to the side, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to put here a pot that I had already kind of warmed up. So remember, I said we're going to use the chili for everything so that you won't get bored throughout the week. So you can have this for lunch or for dinner or even for breakfast if you like. All right. All right. So what I have in this pot is some vegetable broth. Now you can use chicken broth, but I told you I don't eat chicken. And because this is virtual, I have to eat it. So I'm using vegetable broth. This is a low sodium vegetable broth. I already put some in here, but I'll put a little bit more. And so what I'm going to do is make a chili bean and kale soup. Yeah, you can use bone broth. Absolutely, you can use any type of broth. This is just my preference. Okay, 1/8 teaspoon. See, there you go. I love it. I love this community because you all help me out. I love it. I love it. All right. So this is, you can use whatever broth. All right. Now I'm putting my kale, already chopped my kale up, putting that in here. Also, I'm adding carrots, celery, and onion in this bowl, in this pot. Celery, carrots, and onion. Okay. In this pot, along with your broth, whatever broth you have. This is how you're making your soup. All right. Now, this is the thing. Your chili is already done. Your chili already has the cumin, it has the garlic, it has the chili powder, it has a little bit of sea salt. It has everything. If you're using my spice of life, if you put a little bit extra cayenne or chili pepper flakes in there, it's a little spicy. So it's already done. It's already made. It's already good and perfect, right? What I'm going to do is just add the chili, already done. Add the chili, and this becomes chili bean and kale soup. See how easy that is? Already nice and flavored. Now, I like my vegetables, my carrots and everything a little crunchy. If you don't want it crunchy, you just go ahead and let this cook for at least 15, 20 minutes, and that'll be it. So over here, I put about, what, 3 tablespoons of my chili in here. Now, it depends on how, listen, most men like it hearty. So it's going to be nice and thick and hearty soup. I think I'm going to put one more in there. It's just up to, it's your own discretion, however you like it, however you like it. And then you can let it cook for about 20 minutes because you don't want to cook your kale too long. You want all your nutrients and everything to stay right there. Stay right there. And put my chili over here. So now, here's a way that you can actually eat your chili. So we can have the chili by itself with maybe some chips, right? For lunch. Or you can have it for dinner with your brown rice. Now, let's talk about this brown rice. I have a rice cooker, the best thing ever, the best invention ever, a rice cooker. You use 1 cup of rice, and I use brown rice, 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water, okay? That's rule of thumb. But for my recipe, I use 1 cup of rice, brown rice, and I use 1 cup of water, and then I use 1 cup of coconut milk. Just for this recipe, 1 cup of coconut milk. If you don't want the coconut milk part, no worries. Just use 2 cups of water. The point is you want to use 2 cups of some type of liquid. It can be vegetable broth or chicken broth, whatever you like. Okay? So that'll be the rice. Rule of thumb, 4 ounces of brown rice. Okay, so if you have it in a package and you want to package it up, take it to work with you, use about 4 ounces of brown rice. If you are weight watching, if you're managing your weight, you want to do that. About 4 ounces of brown rice. Then what I do is I'll put chili on top of my rice. Chili on top of the rice. Remember, we're using the chili. We're using the chili on several meals, so you won't get bored. Okay. Then you got to have your vegetable. And I'm using this cruciferous vegetable called broccoli. And that's going to be my vitamins and nutrients. And that's going to be my meal. But I have prepared all of this on Sunday in the beginning of the week. Okay. I have prepared all of it on Sunday. The broccoli is sitting in my nice airtight containers. My rice is in my nice airtight containers. And my chili is in my nice airtight containers. So I have a meal. And you can put this in a container, take it to work with you for lunch, or this could be your dinner. Already made, already in the refrigerator. Just pull it out and just make sure you concentrate, focus on your portion control. That's if you need to. Some people don't need to. All right.
Roz, we've got a
So,
couple questions.
sure.
Someone was asking how long the chili can be stored in the fridge.
In the refrigerator in a nice airtight a nice airtight container like this, it could be up to a week for sure. A week.
Perfect. And a little bit further back, somebody was asking which is better, baking soda or baking powder?
Either one. I normally use baking powder, but either one is okay. All right. Is that it? Last question.
Yeah, there was another
Good.
question just about the rice
Okay.
cooker. Somebody was asking why that's so special to
Oh,
you.
I love the rice cooker because you can't go wrong with cooking the rice cooker. It automatically shuts off if you put the right amount of measurements, and you can use. I've done oatmeal, quinoa, all types of grains in the rice cooker. But the thing is, it comes out perfect every time, nice and fluffy every time. And so, I mean, I just think it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And it doesn't have to be red. It can be whatever color you want. But I like a small one. They come in bigger sizes where you can actually prepare more rice or whatever that grain is. Are they glass? No, these are rubber. These are, I think they're rubber. I don't know what they're. That's a good question. Let me see if it says on here. It just says airtight and leak-proof snapware. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're rubber, like Rubbermaid, but a little bit. They concentrate on the seal to making sure everything is fresh, staying fresh. All right. So speaking of fresh, let's talk about this as far as packaging. See, this is a mason jar. This is a wide mouth mason jar, and we're talking about meal prepping, right? So I don't know if you know anything about canning, but you have your tight seal, the two pieces, put it here. So you can actually take your mason jars, and it doesn't have to be a 32 ounce. It could be a half size, a half pint, or whatever you like, right? And you can take your soup and put it in a mason jars and use a wide mouth. You can use a regular one if that's all you have, but I like the wide mouth. And I'll put my soup in there and line them up in the refrigerator. Then you have your soup already ready and stored in the refrigerator for at least a week. Nice and fresh. I had to put it down because the glass is hot for sure. But I just wanted to demonstrate how you can fill up your mason jars and then you can have them in the refrigerator, all ready to go. Grab it, put it in your lunch bag, take it to work, warm it up, and have a nice bowl of soup when you get to work from home, because you're making your own food. Just listen, you're not going to the drive-through or to the cafeteria. You're making your own food and bringing it to work because you're paying good money for the food nowadays, and so you might as well just go ahead and teach yourself how to do it and get it done. Yes, look at that jar. And then you put your two tops on. I'm not going to seal it right now because it's too hot, but you get the idea, right? And then so while we're on mason jars, you can do the same thing with the salad. Put your salad in a jar, different sizes. Fill them up with different ingredients. So this one actually has a chili at the bottom. This one has a chili, same chili here that I made at the bottom. And then I put red onions, carrots, cucumbers. So in the chili, it has your beans, right? So that's your protein. And so I have the chili. I have broccoli in here. I'm just looking at, I forget everything I put in here. And cucumber, carrots, red onion. And then what you're going to do is at the top, you fill it with the greens. So that would be your spring mix, your romaine lettuce, your butter lettuce, whatever lettuce. I don't typically use iceberg lettuce, but if that's what you use, it just doesn't have a lot of nutritional value. So you fill your leafy greens up to the top. Again, this one here is a small mouth, the regular one, but I usually use a wide mouth for this as well because you can take your plate, pack this, take your soup and your salad to work, take your plate and your bowl. But when you get your plate, what you're going to do is a wide mouth will allow you to just turn it over. Your salad, your greens will be at the bottom, and then everything else will fall to the top. Everything else will fall to the top. So if you're not using chili at the bottom, you can use tuna, you can use salmon, but what you're going to put at the bottom is your salad dressing. So if I didn't have chili in this one, I would have a balsamic vinaigrette, some type of salad dressing, clear. I don't use a ranch or any creamy, but I use a clear one and put it at the bottom. And you make sure you don't tilt this over because if you tilt it over, then the salad dressing will make the lettuce start to wilt, and you don't want that. So you want to just make sure it stays upright and line them up in your refrigerator. Then you have your soup, your salad, chili and bean, chili and kale bean soup, your chili salad. Then you have your meal over here for dinner. And then there's one other thing I want to show you. How about your chips? You might be watching the Super Bowl. How about that? You might be watching the Super Bowl and you're going to have a plate with some chips on it, right? Some tortilla chips. These are little small Tostito chips, right? So you can have your little chips. Then I'll put some lettuce on here. This is another way you can get your variety in. And this is butter lettuce. I love butter lettuce. I like all lettuce except for, I like them all. Let me just say that. And then I'm going to put some rice on here. Well, before I put the rice, I'm going to put some onion. And you know what? I need to chop this onion a little bit more because I'm eating this. If you want your onions sliced up a little bigger, that's fine. But I like my onions chopped. So I'm putting this on here. And I can't wait to eat this when we finish. This is going to be my dinner, part of my dinner. All right, so I'm putting some chopped red onions on here. I love onions. Onions are antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, great for a cold and flu. Like I said, they're a relative to that ginger and the garlic. So very, very good for you. So I like a lot of onion. It might keep the vampires away as well. It keep people away, that onion, but hey, it's okay. Just get a couple of mints, breath mints. You'll be all right. All right, so that's my onion. I'm excited about this, y'all. That's my onion. Then I'm going to put some rice on here because that's my whole grain. Have some rice. And then I'm going to top it with my chili. Same chili that I cooked on Sunday, right? And if you want to, you can actually put some sour cream on top of here. You can put guacamole. Let me come around so you all can see me. You can put guacamole, um, some sour cream. They make a vegan sour cream. That's pretty good. Look at that. Chili on top of your baked potato. Absolutely. How about that? Yes, this is so good. Amazing, right? I love it. I just can't wait. So perfect for a game, snack time, lunchtime, dinner time. Huh? I'm telling you.
Chef
Amazing.
Roz, we had another question.
I'm
Um,
ready.
Loretta was asking, how many days is it safe to keep the salad in the refrigerator?
Oh, the salad in a jar would last for 8 days. For 8 days. Now, let me tell you a secret. I was on Lion Lunch Hour on Fox 5, um, about 3 weeks ago now? And I actually had this on display on Fox 5. And I had it in the refrigerator because ever since then, people have been asking me about it. So I just bring it out and use it as display. So actually, this, I would not eat this now because it's been 3 weeks, but I watched it and it actually can stay nice and fresh for at least 8 days without. So if you notice the salad, the leafy greens has wilted down. It was all the way up here, but for 3 weeks I wouldn't eat this. But it will last for at least one whole week in the refrigerator. So if you know that you are going to eat salad 4 days out of the 5 days, just make 4 salads in a jar and put them in the jar and just make sure you eat it. If you're like me and you have a family that's in the house and somebody else might go in and grab yours, just make an extra one for somebody else in the house. But yeah, just gauge it accordingly. Gauge it accordingly. Okay. So, any more questions here, Devin? Any more insight? I see some people have been putting some things there to help me out.
Yeah, no questions right now. People are just saying it looks really good. Feel free to drop any questions that you have in the chat, and we can get those answered right now, though.
So I'm going to do a recap of what I've done here. So I first started out with the chili, and you'll get the recipe for the chili. And the chili is the main ingredient for the week. Um, then I added the chili to broth and made the bean, chili and kale bean soup. Yeah, and then I'm trying to read also, and then the brown rice. I made that. So you're gonna make your brown rice, whatever vegetable, asparagus, cabbage, whatever vegetable you need, you'll have in the beginning of the week. I normally make at least two vegetables in the beginning of the week so that I can interchange them along with the salad because you have to get your vegetables in. You have to get your vegetables. Your main ingredients that you want to get in is your protein, your vegetables, um, protein, vegetables, your beans, of course, your whole grains, and then your fruits. So if you have your containers of and start out with that mindset on Sunday, and then you check off the box. I have my whole grain, I have my vegetables, at least two, so that I won't get bored. Two cooked vegetables. So I'll do asparagus and broccoli sometimes, and then cabbage. Um, and then you have your salad. So that covers that. And in your salads, you have your beans and your whole grains and everything in there. So you want to cover all areas of the food chain, the things that are nutritional, um, that have optimal nutritional value for your body. And and then so we have the broccoli with the rice and the chili, and then we have the snack. We have the snack, or this could be a meal. I can't wait to eat it. I'm going to eat this, y'all. All right. Questions. I see some questions coming out.
We do have a couple questions now. Someone was asking, May was asking, can Snapware containers be used in the freezer?
Yes, they can be used in a freezer. But the thing about Snapware containers in a freezer, they will take up, not unless you have a large freezer, it'll take up a lot of space in the freezer. But if you're freezing it, it's going to last a little bit longer. You know, the reason why you use a Snapware is to have the tight seal for the refrigerator. Now, I would use freezer bags, just nice tight zip freezer bags for my freezer, um, like the egg muffins that you want to freeze or anything you might want to freeze. I would use freezer bags. But to answer your question, it can go in the freezer.
Okay, very good. Catherine had a question about your rice cooker. She was asking what brand of rice cooker that you're using.
This is Aroma. This is one of the cheap ones, and it works very well. I think Black and Decker, Hamilton, a lot of there's a lot of brands out there, but I got this on Amazon. You know, Amazon is everybody's friend nowadays, and so it's Aroma, and I bought the larger one as gifts for folks.
Awesome, thank you. Lillian had a question. She said, could she use additional or use nutritional yeast rather to for the egg muffin mix before baking?
Oh yeah, you can definitely use nutritional yeast. That gives you a like a cheesy type nutty flavor. Yep, you can use that for sure. I like nutritional yeast.
Okay, and Sheila had a question. She said, what's the secret to cooking asparagus? She said hers always comes out too mushy
Well,
or cooked enough.
I put my asparagus. I have actually in my recipe book a great recipe for asparagus, and I put in the air fryer. I've just brushed them with my garlic infused olive oil, and it's herb infused with garlic olive oil. I brush them with that. I put a little bit of my spice of life on it with some basil, and run it in the air fryer. And it's in the air fryer for no more than 6, 7 minutes, so it comes out nice and crispy. I always cut off the end because that's where the fiber is, and it's hard to chew. But that's how I prepare mine. I don't boil them at all. They come out mushy, and I don't prefer them. I like them crunchy.
Okay, sounds good. Colleen had a question about the temperature for the oven. How long for the egg muffins?
I think it's 375. I have to go back and look at my recipe, but I think it's 375. It's no, I know it's not over it's not 450. So it's either 375 or 400, but I would have to go back. I did that demo for you all a couple of months ago with the use doing the egg, egg muffins. So I have to go back and look at that recipe.
Okay, very good. People are just thanking you, Chef. Let's see, somebody else was asking, how can they get some of your garlic infused oil?
So it's on my website. My business is called Heavenly Bodies Live. That's one word. Heavenly Bodies Live. BODIESLIVE. Some people say live, but I say live. Heavenlybodieslive.com. And that's my website. You just click on that where it says shop, and you'll see all of my products there. My Spice of Life. I have an avocado oil, also the garlic infused oil. And so you'll see different items I have there. Also, my recipe book is on there as well. My recipe book is on there as well, and I'm working on my next one. And I
All right.
thank you all. I thank you all for coming out and spending the evening with us and prayerfully and hopefully you all have some great tips on how to make meals. And you can to stretch out the week, even if it's not.
Oh, I think Chef Roz got cut off too soon. But we want to just take a second to thank Chef Roz and thank everybody for coming out and joining us tonight. Before we leave, I do have a few quick announcements for you. We want your feedback. So please complete the evaluation survey within 24 hours to be entered into a drawing for a health and wellness gift bag. Please also join us on Wednesday, February 5th from 6 to 7 p.m. for our next virtual session, Heart Smart Cooking Demonstration. And please come to or visit us on pgparks.com to see the complete list of health and wellness offerings, such as February Heart Health Month events, and March is National Nutrition Month. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you for joining us on this virtual cooking demonstration. For more videos and information on upcoming program offerings, visit the Health and Wellness page on pgparks.com or contact us at wellness@pgparks.com. Until next time, be healthy, be well.